Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Welcome to the breakfast show, Money Talk with SmartRobie. I hope you had a good rest, as most of you do, over the short holiday that we have on Wednesday, which is the Malaysian Day. But anyway, happy post-Malaysia Day. I hope you had a good rest. Some of you may have gone outstation and so, but I will also be doing my holiday next Friday. That's right. But let's look at the market for what is today, and we've seen a lot of market corrections, right? Almost the last 2 months. And just when we thought the market correct, we have our first green pentagon. That's right, on a KLSE. Well, this time we'll see the market rebound. I will show you on the coming story. Let's get started. Now, so far, we have seen the market really making it this big move all to the upside and then selling it down. But this week, I'll also talk about the US aspect, as many of our members in here, this ask about what's happening in US, because a lot of the US condition that is happening, the COVID, will impact Malaysia. For start, the COVID-19, the mismanagement of the COVID-19 cases in US has also impacted our so-called number of rubber glove maker and also the 5G technology in here. So I will also talk shortly on that one too, whether it is still ongoing a concern to buy into the US stock or not. So there's something good to talk about. All right, let's move on to our first story for today. All right. And it's no other than the construction sector. That's right. Now, the construction sector is really, really bad and it's pretty hot. If I've seen a lot on Facebook, and some of you already may started buying construction sector, right? There are a couple of good ones in there. I think my favorite was Pintaras, but it's a bit liquid. Check it out, PTrans, which is a rating of 6. We're going to look at that later on. Again, do look for the trading plan and the signal too. But the story really talk about Bandar Malaysia, the city with two tails in here. And this is more of a revival as the media play into it. We've seen the construction, the budget 2021. So all those mega projects need to be mentioned. So in here, so the story revolves about the supporter. Of course, they are supporter. They are also people who are skeptical about this kind of Bandar Malaysia. We all know how Bandar Malaysia came up with. It is on the Sungai Besi highway. So if you are coming around from Sungai Besi way going to KL, you'll see on the left hand side the old Sungai Besi military airport. That's the one being developed in here. Well, many people say that look, Bandar Malaysia will be developed with the best infrastructure, everything high tech, everything high end. But the question is, will there be people staying at that place? Will you be staying on that place? What do you think? Do you think that the Bandar Malaysia is a good idea or not? But definitely right now, if you look at overall how Malaysia has moved forward, our construction company, and the counter in play is this no other than Eco West, which have seen heavily traded and the stocks has moved up. And there are a couple of shares also, we will talk about it, which we pick has done pretty well. One of them is no other than MMAG, and also Parlo, which we picked on Monday, on last week. So it revolves around the construction that we've seen so far in here. Are you in for it or are you against the construction? My take is that I think we have just too much construction. But then again, infrastructure spending, in my opinion, are good, because Bandar Malaysia is also the end of the station for the high-speed railway. You all know that, right? High-speed railway to Malaysia to Singapore. So it's a bit going to be like KLCC. But right now, no one is talking about KLCC anymore, right? It's an old story. The TRX, or they changed it to Building 88. I can't remember. Or Building 101. It's a very nice one if you ever drive back Jalan Tun Razak to the TRX exchange. Okay, lots of construction in KLCI, but I don't know what it will be the take-up rate of going forward with this market. Do let me know, what do you think of it? All right, let's move on to our next story. All right, our next story is around TopGlove. That's right. Now, TopGlove, I think yesterday post one of the best quarter that they had in here, and but the share price has dropped. So I also posted this also on the Facebook. Now, how many of you are first time? If you are first time, type 1. So I do know that you're first time listening. Then at least let me explain you the world of smart money operator. That's right. That's why we learn volume spread analysis and a bit about trade VSU, volume spread analysis, VSA. It's all about understanding price and volume, what the smart money are doing. So if you don't know, this is the reason why when good news comes out, what do? What do smart money do? They take profit. That's right. That's why we've seen this market doing. But from a fundamental standpoint, some people do see this as also what we call peak earnings. When peak earning comes, as you can see on the chart here, let me just get the laser pointer, right? And you can see here 1.29 billion was the first quarter earnings, and that's really, really good. You haven't seen anything like that. But the company also believe that the posting of 1,600% net profit in the fourth quarter, but also agreed by Hatta Lega boss, Mr. Kwan Kam Hon, that also said the glove demand outstrip the supply over the next 3 years. This is partly due to the continued education that a lot of employees out there, cleaners, will wear rubber glove, and because of that, there will be more usage of rubber glove. Having said that, so that's again the outlook continue to be good. So you may ask the question, is it good time to buy rubber glove? Again, I always believe it's a little good to buy a little bit more. Right now, the price is a bit depressed despite all the quarters. But going forward, a lot of things has already been priced in. You have to wait for the market to somehow forget about all those good news. Right now, a lot of news being played out by the media. So upside, it's not much, but it's not going to fall that much. But I think eventually, once they get on to the next leg, which rubber glove, the COVID-19 vaccine. We have to see what's the COVID-19 vaccine. How do you feel about the... thanks to you, those of you coming for the first time. Those of you what do you think about the whole COVID standpoint and the usage of COVID? Give me what you think, all right? Let's move on to our next story that we have for you here, right? It's no other than MMAG. That's right. Now, MMAG, a lot of news been out. And guess what? We picked this on the 7th of September on episode 49. This is episode 53. So we've been doing almost 53 episodes, So this episode 49, we picked MMAG, and that market really has moved up 206% in here. And there's a lot of news going around it that old IT company, then they transformed themselves to integrated COVID testing, and they got hold of the foreign worker management in here, and also a new major shareholder. So there's a lot of things that has take place. But again, is it a time to take profit, or is it a time to go in? What do you think? For me, definitely it's time to take profit. The time to go in was maybe on the 7th of September, or when you first see it on the premium alert. That's right, premium alert comes up every 9:30. And those of you who has been following me at least the last 10 episodes on the breakfast show will know what I mean, but we are already at episode 53. Now, how many of you have followed more than 10 episodes on that? Just type 10 plus, then at least I know you've been following me for 10 plus. If you've been new, just type 1. If you are last 5 episodes, 5 plus. And if you've been following me since day 1, 50 episodes, you can type 50 plus. So at least I know what we do here at Trade VSA is a public service to you, and also to help you to put money into the pocket, and also download a copy of SmartRobie, which will help you too. All right. Now, also at the same time, since we are looking at the chart, let me just show you the KLCI where it is today. Now, right now, as I said before, the KLCI, we are seeing the first green pentagon in here. That was also due to the news that's been released by TopGlove. But good news, people sell down. So that's what we are seeing this rate down. But having said, today, all right, you can see green pentagon, that's mean the market for the first time after 2 months started to move back up. So that is indeed good news. Then we can see a lot of recovery. Right now, the last time that I updated, the CI is up 3 points at 1516. A lot of analysts is giving a year-end closing of 1530, which is only about 14 points. So that also means the market's not going anywhere from September to December, right? So what do you do about it, right? So it's better to buy on dips, right? So that's the story that we want to relate to. Let's move on to our next story, shall we? Now, next story is a little small construction company, since in the same theme of the construction sector, which is booming, is Advancecon. It landed an ECRL project, which is only a small worth of 29 million. But I want to look at the chart in here. It's moving sideways, as I said before here. Hasn't really gone much higher nor down. Let's look at Advancecon. You can look at the stock price chart here. All right, and you can see has a resistance around the 42 to 45 cent in here. So right now it is still in the blue green pentagon. Does it pay a dividend? Okay, let's check it out. And you want to see whether it's worthwhile to hold it over some time, paying a dividend or not. Okay. And so you can see the PE is 231 times. Now I'm going to show you later on whether this makes sense, because I also want to teach you about fundamental and how to read the PE too. Very important aspect about fundamental, just knowing the PE, whether it is expensive or cheap to buy. Now take a look at this. This Advancecon is 231 PE. Okay, just keep in mind, right? Is this a super growth stock? What do you think? Do you think Advancecon is a super growth stock or not? Okay, but keep in mind. Okay, let's move on to our next story. All right, now the next story is about Scientex, which is one of my favorite too. If you look at Scientex, and having said that, let me just show you the fundamentals. I always like about Scientex stock fundamental in here. It is giving a 6. That's right, a 6 out of 8, one of the best one. And you can see the PE right now is only 12.4 times. Cheap, right? Very cheap. But stock price also steadily going up. Let's look at the chart that we have here, and we hit on the stock chart. As you can see, the market did peak at $10, $9.80. But the story really go around that the projection by analysts, they're saying that 2022, the net profit will grow by 15%, 22%, and 13% respectively. So that's not too bad. So, and at the same time, because of the post-COVID that we see, the new norm, a lot of people will use plastic, a lot of people use packaging during the MCO as well as post-MCO for e-commerce and food delivery. So a fair price at 10 ringgit 74 cent. So right now it's only below. Let's look at the stock price right now. As you can see, Scientex in here. Look at stock price. We are looking at 9 ringgit and 20 cents, just short of 9.17. So this is a positive news of 1.33% up that gives it. So what do you think? Is it worthwhile to buy? And let's look at the dividend. Now you notice the dividend, right? From here, you can see it pays about a 2.18%. Not too bad. That's pretty a nice dividend to hold on to this one in here. All right. So let's look at the next story they have for you, which is it's one of his considered subsidiary, which Daibochi is owned. 61% of Daibochi is owned by Scientex. So it is a very similar play. If you look at the chart, they are quite similar too. You can see, let me just show you Scientex chart. This is Scientex chart. All right, this Scientex chart. And if you look at Daibochi, okay, Daibochi here, it is very, very similar too, because both are in plastic packaging in here. So they haven't made a good run yet. Let's look at the stock fundamental, and you can see it pays also 1.8, but it's a rating of 4, so not too bad. The parent company Scientex, Scientex also good. It has property exposure for affordable housing in Johor and Malacca too, so that's give it a bit more diversification. Scientex is definitely a better one, but again, looking at the stock price, of course, Daibochi is 2 ringgit 68, and Scientex is almost 9 ringgit and 17 cents. So the story actually goes around the same thing too. Post MCO, COVID-19, plastic, e-commerce, they will benefit inside. So a trade is setting up, and it does pay a pretty decent dividend, 1.81, if those of you who wanted to. All right. Now, let's move on to the US market, which is a new chapter that we will include in the breakfast show. Now, this is from the magazine Barron's, and to talk about the market bubble in here. And a lot of reader has sent me question and saying, Martin, are we seeing a bubble, and are we seeing the market correction that we've seen? Yesterday, the Dow Jones also corrected minus 100 136 points. So this barons basically talk about the story that revolved around that the bubble that we see in the tech stock hasn't spelled trouble yet. And one of the reasons why it says inside here is that some of these valuation, no doubt they are high, but they're not so high. So if you look at the FANGs, okay, so-called FANGs, Facebook, Google, Alphabet, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple. So you will notice that we did the except of Amazon, you can see the PE is relatively high, forward PE. But if you notice the others, Apple in here are below. Here is 50, here is 25. So we assume it's below around 35. So which is quite fair considering the type of growth in the post-COVID in here. And one of the reasons why, now if you compare this to Advancecon and also compare to some of our tech stocks, which is around 45 to 50 times our local tech stocks, compared to some of the really true blue one, the US one is still cheap, you know. So going forward, what we are saying here, the new normal for the post-COVID-19 with the social distancing, online communication, that will continue to spur this market, and yet it's not a bubble, just like this girl that you see, will the bubble pop, burst? But the question that in every investor mind, they are worried because right now the market is correcting. But don't forget, one of the things that we really want to do in our education is actually to teach you a lot about how to read the chart, and a lot of the market analysis will come from me to push you into becoming a skillful investor. Now, how many of you want to become a skillful investor? Type 5 if you want to do that, and continue to follow us and like me, and download a copy of SmartRobie to do that, all completely free. That's right. So that is why we put on the US parts to also educate our Malaysian public and you as my friend too. All right, let's move on to our next story in here. So our next story is no other than the KLCI news. One of the things I always want to get all my audience here is to always kindly look at the news that we have. So the news that we have right now, you can see IWCT Iskandar, $500 million. That's why the IWCT is something good. Benapuri, see all the positive news you can see, right? Econ Berhad, Sapura, there's something positive, some contract win. So you can see there are opportunities. Let's look at IWCT, okay? And look at the stock chart. Yep, this one is pushing up and it's like a ding dong in here. So the question is, you need to understand the charts formation, the mental setup, the chart setup. All right, I think that's very important too. So my take is that I really invite you to join my colleague Zac, my senior trainer, at 9:30 every night, and also Arif on Thursday, to see how to read the chart. I think that's very important. While I can educate you on the macroeconomics and all the news around it, it's important for you when you see a chart like that, just because it is heavily spoken on the newspaper that you go in and buy, then mati keras. You can also check IWCT, the stock fundamental. What is the stock fundamental all about? Look at that. The PE is 139. As I said before, by watching this show, you do the comparison to the tech stock, to the construction, to the plastic. If you look at plastic, just now we were looking at it. Let me just scroll back up again. All right, and let me just show you here. The plastic Scientex, Daibochi is only 18 times only, which tells you these are good company too. All right, something that you may think about, very important, your plan. Because on this coming next Wednesday, I will talk about Sun Tzu Art of War. That's right, Sun Tzu Art of War. Some 7 strategies that you can adopt in this market correction. So I will talk about that on later. So the story goes around here, the IWCT, something you look at. So this is something when you are busy, but got bored, you want to have a change of mind, and something you can tune to, just look at the news. All right, let's move on to the next section. Now, next section is definitely a delight. Parlo trade idea for the 11th of September, episode 51. Just 2 episodes ago, Parlo, when we picked on the 11th of September, has gone up 49%. Let's look at Parlo, all right, and also we'll look at MMG too. So you look at Parlo, we look at the stock chart, right? That's right. This thing has gone parabolic. Now, if you notice on the, let me just click there again. All right. So you can look back on the 11th of September, this thing has shot all the way up. Very similar to MMAG. So you can see Parlo here. So this is one of the stocks we picked. Let's look at MMAG. All right. hit that one. You can do this too, all right, on your SmartRobie. So make sure you download a copy of SmartRobie in here, so you can see very similar parabolic. And please don't ask me whether can buy or not. You don't want to buy things already move so much. It's time to take profit, all right? So that's important why you must study the chart setup, all right? The macroeconomics I will cover, I will teach you, no problem. But the charts, you need to study them, all right? So this is just to share with you the two stock pick that done well. Of course, not all stock pick did well. We did pick two on Monday, which is the Ruberex and also Ocncash, which is down -8 and -5% here. And partly this is due to the rubber glove. TopGlove continue to be profit being taken out, so it also impact the Ruberex. The healthcare, in my opinion, something is good to trade, but you're not going to make a lot of money. Keep an eye on constructions and some of those sectors which is coming up. Look out for the sector analysis when you subscribe to our Trade VSA package. Something for you who wanted to upgrade. But let's look at today. Our stock pick for today, for 18th of September, episode 53 is MCEHldg. Okay, MCEHldg. Let's look at the chart. Okay, this is why I like it, right? Double bottom, you have a green pentagon too. You can see that, the green pentagon right at the below there, and that's a nice one. So that's one of the first way. Let's look at another one right now, and we'll go to MCE, and we go on to the premium alert. We hit that one. We got Pohuat. Wow, Pohuat, remember the rubber glove, which we did one of our talks two weeks ago. We did an update on that one. MCE came out, PTrans, MCT, K-Star, TDEX, Chinese media. Well, do you want to pick Pohuat? Pohuat is a slow one. It's not going to go anywhere. Let's take a look at PTrans. Since we are talking about premium alert, we want to have a fast one. Okay, let's look at Perak Transport, up 7%. Okay, hit that one. Okay, here it comes. The stock chart will come out here, and we just hit this button in here to look at the real-time live chart here. This is our next stock. Now, the whole point, the trade setup and all this, we have it on the video in here. Perak Trans, okay, I'll click that one. Okay, this is, let's look at the daily chart. Okay, you can see this is a chart also just turned green. Not too bad. I kind of like this too. So for Perak Transit, it's not going to go up very fast. As I said before, it's not going to go parabolic. But having said that, it does has a nice spring inside here. Potentially going to retest back 32.5 cents. So I will also write this down for MCE Perak Transport, PTrans. Okay, because on Monday, we will come back and review this. All right. So let's move on to our next story. So our next story is no other than a reminder for those of you who have registered for our masterclass. Now it's a 5-day course. That's right. Because of the 4 instructor plus myself, actually we have 5 instructor in there with a 5-day course. So we'll start on October 2nd to 5th on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. Friday will be a Friday evening, and then on Wednesday for the US market. Now we still have a couple of seats left. For those of you who are interested in attending, just text us and find out more. Just type MC, and we'll be happy to give you some details about a masterclass, which we talk about a lot of the setup, and it's a proven way we will look at US and also the KLSE. So it is what we call a course that really show you both fundamental and a little bit touching on the a course that focus a lot on the trade setup, a lot on the screeners, a lot on volume spread analysis, and things that you normally see at 9:30, what Zac talk about in here. So a masterclass in here. Of course, for those of you who wanted just our regular talks, do join us next Wednesday on the 23rd of September, the Sun Tzu Art of War for investor and trader, 7 strategies for making money in the market correction, especially those of you who want to combine the mental preparation and the trade setup and knowing the kind of strategies. This is something will help you to improve in the coming days. When once the market completes its correction, it will start to move back up. You will enjoy your earnings. That's right. So make sure you follow me next Wednesday. And of course, those of you who are here for the first time, do join us and download a copy of SmartRobie. All right. get a copy of SmartRobie, and you can get it from where? From the Google and Apple Play Store. That's right. So make sure you do that, and you will always get good sound advice and good trading advice from us. All right. So give us your feedback, and I hope you have a good day and remaining. And I'll see you this coming Monday in our breakfast show. That's it for all. So if you have any question, do post it in there. Else, we are able to help you in all aspects of investing and trading. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. And don't forget, last but not least, for those of you who did type 1, do join us in our Telegram chat room. And here is the Trade VSA trading ideas, where you can see our best Telegram chat room, free stock market information that will help you to become a better investor and trader. With that, I bid you a farewell.